This is WUFT News, first at 5.
The University of Florida has celebrated many high-tech headlines, like the new Innovation Hub and one company alone promising 400 jobs. But will budget cuts mean more backsliding on the foundation for such success? Good evening, I'm Stephen Gallo.
And I'm Bailey Myers. The demonstration at UF today called attention to a controversial budget-cutting idea, making sharp cuts inside the College of Engineering's Department of Computer Science. WUFT's TJ Villamil has more.
Rallying cries from University of Florida students and faculty were heard on campus today. Hundreds gathered in Turlington Plaza to protest budget cuts proposed for the Department of Computer and Information Science and Engineering, or CISE. While many understand the budget axe has to fall somewhere, with UF facing a $38 million cut in state funding, these protesters believe savings could be found somewhere less successful.
Well, the campus as a whole is going to lose a very strong department, and it's a department that has a lot of very creative research going on in it, and it's a department that's attracting students internationally to come here, and it's a department that produces almost twice as much money as it costs the university.
The protest began after Engineering College Dean Cami Abernathy proposed merging CISE with another department, having the faculty focus more on teaching than on research, and taking away graduate assistant positions.
There's a lot of effects that's going to have that I feel really are not in the best interest of the department, of course, but also just like the whole university and the community to a degree as well, because computer science is important for a lot of different jobs and businesses.
With the increasing importance of computer engineers and developers in today's economy, many believe this is a step in the wrong direction.
I'm currently surrounded by hundreds of students linking arms surrounding the Computer and Science and Engineering building. They've already garnered such support from internet giants such as Google, and they have one simple message: save CISE.
Almost 3,500 people have signed an online petition to repeal the plan, and protesters believe this is only the beginning. TJ Villamil, WUFT News.
Dean Abernathy issued a statement that she feels the same as protesters about the unfairness of additional deep state cuts. She said the college is listening to students, professors, and industry partners, and she'll work to fashion a solution that has, quote, the college's best interest at heart.
Students and faculty at Virginia Tech are remembering the tragedy that took place 5 years ago today. 32 people were killed when gunman Sung Ji Jo opened fire on the Blacksburg campus before turning the gun on himself. This is the first year the school hasn't suspended classes to mark the anniversary of the shooting. Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell will address a candlelight vigil tonight.
And an inmate died yesterday morning at the Alachua County Jail. 51-year-old Willie Joel Sanders Jr. suffered 2 seizures following a check of his blood sugar level. A nurse and jail staffers started CPR, and he was rushed to Shands Hospital, but he could not be saved. And an updated Florida law is again attempting to ban synthetic marijuana, despite expectations that those who make and sell the products will manage to stay one step ahead. WUFT's Alicia Marie Rodriguez explains the concerns.
Some local smoke shops are now cracking down on sales of a substance known as K2 or spice. Also known as synthetic weed, they are like marijuana but marketed as potpourri or incense. Despite new laws banning the sale of spice, some convenience stores still have it readily available. Because of the recent ban, many smoke shops declined to comment, but one previous user told WUFT that spice has proven to be highly addictive to users.
Just from my friends and people that I know and personally, I could see how if you were addicted to smoking marijuana and then you switched over to spice, you could easily get the same addiction.
Spice is an altered form of tetrahydrocannabinol, the molecule found in marijuana that gives users a high. Side effects of spice typically include headaches, vomiting, cold shakes, and even psychosis.
It'll make you tired, drowsy, maybe even like a little giggly or something like that.
Many smoke shops, such as the one right behind me, sell spice, but won't sell it to customers along with other smoking supplies because it is technically incense and not intended for smoking. In March, the Florida legislature outlawed the latest version of the drug, making it a third-degree felony to possess or sell synthetic marijuana. But a smoke shop employee told us that as soon as lawmakers outlaw the substance, its manufacturers tweak its chemical composition, creating a new, legal substance that has the same mind-altering effects. Alicia Marie Rodriguez, WUFT News.
And there have been 2 deaths in Florida associated with spice.
State officials in Oklahoma say a 6th person has died after a weekend tornado ripped through the town of Woodward. Authorities say warning sirens may have been disabled when lightning hit a control tower. Nearly 100 tornadoes ripped across the central and southern plains on Saturday, killing 6 and injuring more than 2 dozen. And it's been a warm past couple of days here in Gainesville.
It really has, Bailey. WRUF's Lindsay Hoover joins us now to let us know if we can expect it to stick around. Lindsay?
Thanks, Stephen. We did have another warm day out there again today, with highs remaining in the mid to upper 80s throughout north central Florida. Let's take a look at our live camera over UF. Right now it is currently 85 degrees. Today's high was 87 degrees. Some clouds out there, but overall a gorgeous day. Again, no rainfall, but hopefully we can expect some later on this week. Later on this evening at 8 p.m. it'll be 79 degrees outside, with winds moving at 10 miles per hour and some clouds out there. And in the morning, there may be some patchy fog, set at 58 degrees at 7 a.m. And coming up in my full forecast, I'll show you those fronts that are coming through and when we can expect that rain. Back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. President Obama is back at the White House this morning following a trip to Colombia. The visit was overshadowed, however, by a prostitution scandal involving members of the Secret Service and the U.S. military. The incident happened on Wednesday night at a hotel in Cartagena. This was just days before the president was set to arrive in town. According to U.S. officials who have been briefed on the matter, 11 special agents and uniformed brought prostitutes back to their hotel.
Turns out that some of the allegations that have been made in the press are confirmed, then of course I'll be angry.
Members of Congress say they will launch their own investigation. All 11 Secret Service members have been placed on administrative leave.
Governor Rick Scott has the rest of the week to decide if he'll approve a bill that further erodes state pensions. A legal appeal is pending over last year's move to make state employees chip in 3% for the first time. This year's approach is to trim back the state contribution. And as WUFT's Kaitlyn Shemenski explains, first responders who get more generous benefits would not be exempt from the additional cuts.
This Alachua County officer says any cut to his already tight retirement plan could drastically change his lifestyle during retirement.
It's a line of work that we want to be in, but the benefits were one of the important parts that keep us going. And the fact that the pay is low to start with, the benefits are about the only thing that we have going for us that help us out.
He's one of about 100,000 Florida employees who would lose benefits if Governor Scott signs a bill cutting state contributions. Law enforcement officers once received retirement contributions of 12 to 15% of their incomes.
They significantly reduced that particular monetary benefit to the members, and that we didn't see it coming.
Law enforcement officers would experience the most drastic cuts compared to university employees and state and county workers.
I spoke with Governor Rick Scott's office earlier today, and he was not available to speak. However, they did say on his behalf that cutting the budget is one of his top priorities and that he's still reviewing the bill that he must decide on by Saturday.
For now, all this officer says he can do is plan for more years in the line of duty.
He'd take $4,500 away from my retirement per year. It's going to take me an extra 5 years to retire just to have enough money in the investment plan to make it after that.
Something he's willing to do if he has to. Kaitlyn Shemenski, WUFT News.
Law enforcement officers would receive a 6% decrease in government contributions toward their pensions. State and county workers nearly 3% and university employees just more than 2%. The bill would save the state $172 million.
And it's FCAT week for students across Florida, and this year students will be taking a tougher test.
Students, teachers, and administrators have prepared all year. Up next, one study expert will give your family advice on how to handle the actual test days. Stay with us. A final day of preparations is underway at NASA's Kennedy Space Center as Shuttle Discovery sits on deck for launch. Only this time, Discovery won't be rocketed into space, but instead taken by piggyback to Washington, D.C. There, the famous spacecraft will enter its new home at a Smithsonian facility near Dulles Airport. It will become a permanent museum display, and the public can get their first up-close look starting April 19th.
And the time-honored tradition of tax day freebies comes with a new twist this year. Retailers who offer them up to ease the pain of paying taxes are going viral with their message. Here's a story from NBC's Chris Clackham.
They've become as certain in life as death and taxes, those freebies restaurants traditionally hand out on tax deadline day, which this year is Tuesday, April 17th. But in many instances, you'll have to go through a few social media hoops to get the deal. Like Arby's, go to their Facebook page for the coupon for a free order of curly fries. The coupon for a bargain on bagels is on Brugger's page. By liking Panda Express on Facebook, you'll get a free serving of its Shanghai Angus steak. Seattle's Best Coffee has free coffee available on its page, while Firehouse Subs is using Facebook to get word out on its tax day double the meat deal. Chili's website, however, is where you go for the coupon for a free appetizer or dessert. And not every deal requires a download, only a trip to the store.
For example, Office Depot is offering anyone who comes in today or tomorrow up to 5 pounds of free shredding and 25 free black and white copies.
A trip to Maggie Moo's Ice Cream or Marble Slab Creamery pays off with a free scoop of frozen yogurt from 4 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And P.F. Chang's is giving a 15% discount on dine-in and carry-out orders to ease the sting of tax day. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
And one more reminder you might want to keep in mind, tomorrow is the filing deadline and due date for federal income tax returns.
Students from across the state of Florida are taking the FCAT all week. Students in elementary, middle, and high schools are required to take the Florida Comprehensive Assessment test each spring. And this year, students will take the FCAT 2.0, which carries a tougher standard than the original FCAT. Study experts say the time for studying has passed, and it would be a mistake to cram.
At this point, it's about relaxing, it's about sleeping, it's about running outside on this beautiful day and playing or going to baseball practice. It's about those things right now.
And hopefully the studying done long beforehand will pay off. Third grade students who fail can be retained. Failing grades can also force students to take remedial math and reading classes and eventually keep students from graduating high school.
And now our entertainment reporter, Jennifer Eckhart, joins us in the studio.
So Jennifer, tell me what's going on in Hollywood.
Well, Bailey, it seems a famous rapper resurrected from the dead during last night's Coachella Music Festival. The rapper Tupac appeared in a very ghostly and almost believable hologram last night. It was Dr. Dre's version of bringing the rapper back to life. He materialized on stage alongside his old friend Snoop Dogg during a crowd-pleasing set by Dr. Dre, which also featured appearances from Eminem, 50 Cent, Wiz Khalifa, and Warren G. The resurrection of Tupac, who was murdered in 1996, would have been a big surprise had word about the stunt not leaked out just a few days before. 2 cruise ships converged above the Titanic to mark the 100th anniversary of its sinking. Memorial services were held for more than 1,500 people who died in the world's most famous maritime disaster. In the early hours of this morning, over 1,000 passengers aboard 2 cruise ships stopped to remember. Musicians played "Nearer by God to Thee," the hymn that the Titanic band was never able to finish.
I'm just so glad to be here, and it's a relief now to me. I can leave. I can leave. I'm still going to look forward to seeing him on the other side.
For those who joined the memorial cruises, this service fulfilled a lifelong desire to pay their respects at the very site of the disaster. Still can't believe that happened 100 years ago.
Crazy, fascinating, but thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Jen. So far, it's been a dry year and fires have all lit up all over the state. But this week, we might see some showers.
That's right. WRUF's Lindsay Hoover joins us next with a look at our forecast. Stay with us.
far this year, it's been a very dry year. In fact, we're even in a drought. Welcome back. I'm UF forecaster Lindsay Hoover. Normally we receive about 12¼ inches of rain by this time, but we've only received about 5¼ inches of rain. Let's take a look at some current or some trends over the next 6 days. We have some southerly flow moving through. That'll create some moisture in the air, making it feel more humid, and your highs for Tuesday will be even warmer. And we have some patchy fog early on in the morning. Now we do have a weak front moving through on Wednesday that'll have some scattered thunderstorms associated with it. There's only a slight chance for that, but we have a better chance on Saturday with a stronger front that's moving through that'll bring in that much needed rain and thunderstorms, and it will be widespread throughout north central Florida. Let's take a look again over UF campus. Overall today has been a gorgeous day outside, some clouds out there. Right now it's currently 84 degrees. The high today was 87 degrees. Again, no rainfall, but that should change later on this week. Now, as we look at some of the temperatures for Monday, start to increase, and by Tuesday we'll start to get some more cloud cover, and then in the afternoon it'll become even more. By noon, it'll be all over north central Florida with lots of clouds, and there's even some chance of rain by Perry, but it'll begin to clear out as we move through Tuesday evening. Now we'll have another cool night again tonight. Tomorrow morning will be 58 degrees in Gainesville, 60 in High Springs, 58 in Lake City, and 60 over in Perry. Along the coast, a little bit warmer with 62 in Jacksonville and 62 also in St. Augustine. And tomorrow highs will be in the 80s as well. And again, with that humidity, you'll feel much warmer with 88 in Williston, 87 in Gainesville, 87 in Lake Butler, and 86 in Lake City. And along the coast, be warm as well. A little bit cooler though with St. Augustine with a high of 79 and some winds coming in along the coast. Now tomorrow, or Wednesday afternoon, excuse me, we do have a chance of some rain from that weak front I was talking to you about. Some clouds in 85 in Gainesville, 85 in High Springs. And that system that's moving through, let's take a look at some of those fronts. This is the weak front that is moving through. That hopefully we can get some rain, but there's not a big chance. The one I'm keeping my eye out is the one moving through that we can see on late Friday, maybe early Saturday. Let's take a look at our 6-day forecast. Again, the high is 87 for Tuesday. Wednesday, possible thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Then it'll dry up Thursday. And then we can see that storm chances on Friday or even Saturday. And then it'll cool down on Sunday with a high of 77. Back to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. And as the semester winds down, so do the Gator sports seasons.
More on a weekend full of Gator sports coming up next. The third-ranked Gator softball team defeated Auburn Sunday 5-2 to complete their 5th SEC Series sweep of the season. Gator sophomore Hannah Rogers pitched her 19th complete game of the season, giving up only 2 runs to the Tigers. The Gators next host FIU for a doubleheader Friday and a game Saturday. In Gator baseball news, UF junior Brian Johnson was just named SEC Player of the Week today. The number 4 Gator baseball team beat Tennessee 8-1 Sunday to take the series 2-1. The Gators will host Georgia Southern tomorrow, then Georgia comes to town for a weekend SEC series. It was senior day for the Gator lacrosse team Saturday as they took down ALC opponent Vanderbilt 17-5. This was the Gators' 10th straight victory, and they now boast a 14-2 record this season and are 4-0 in ALC conference play.
Came out and executed the game plan very well defensively. I thought Mikey was solid in the goal cage, so overall just a super effort, I thought.
Up next for Gator lacrosse, they travel to take on Northwestern this Saturday for their last game of the regular season. This summer marks the 40th anniversary of Title IX being signed into law. WUFT's Brian Penner tells us how the landmark policies have changed the college sports landscape.
It's been a slam dunk for women's sports.
Griner with the breakaway, and Griner throws it down!
Female athletes have more opportunities now than ever thanks to Title IX, which encourages schools to have equal scholarship numbers among men and women. The University of Florida is a testament to the law's success, with 141 scholarships available to female athletes each year.
Without the law, I don't think we're here where we are today in terms of the programs that we have, and I think it'll continue to really get people to focus on women's opportunities in the future.
Florida has added 10 Division I women's programs since the rule's inception in 1972, including the newest edition of lacrosse in 2010.
I think it's been a great thing for us here at Florida in the sense that, we've been able to add a program.
While Title IX has undoubtedly had a huge positive impact on women's athletics around the country, some question whether the law has done it at the expense of some men's sports. Take Matt Richmond, captain of the club lacrosse team at Florida, a high school standout in the sport. He was recruited by a small school in Alabama, but says there just aren't enough scholarship opportunities for men's lacrosse in the Southeast.
It was a really fun process to go through and everything, talking to the coach and everything. I didn't get to go up for a school visit or anything. It just was too much money for me to go.
While Florida has added 10 women's programs since Title IX, no men's sports have been added, with the wrestling team even being cut. Some critics argue the rules should not count profit-generating sports like football and men's basketball towards the school's participation numbers. Football primarily sustains the entire Gator Athletic Association, but with 85 scholarships given out each year, it leaves little room for participation for male athletes away from the gridiron.
We put a lot of work in, a lot of time in as individuals and as a team, and it's just it's kind of depressing when you aren't able to have the facilities that other schools have.
Participation in college varsity sports by both women and men has gone up under Title IX. For men, the numbers are up 46%. For women, the increase is a game-changing 622%. There was only one afternoon baseball game today. The Tampa Bay Rays held on to beat the Boston Red Sox at Fenway 1-0. But the Red Sox took 3 games of the 4-game series. The Rays next travel to Toronto for a 3-game series. So, Brianne, tell me a little bit about UF women's tennis team. Yes, well, the women's tennis team just finished SEC's undefeated. They're the #1 seed in the SEC tournament coming up next. Awesome.
Great. Well, we'll have more news after the break. Stay with us. And more than 200 girls and 1 guy got the opportunity to become an NFL cheerleader. The Denver Broncos held their open tryouts on Sunday. For the first time, a man, Sasha Heppel, tried to make the cut.
I'm at the Denver Broncos cheerleader tryouts. I'm going to try out to be the first male Broncos cheerleader ever. It's huge. I'm excited, totally thrilled. No male has ever made it through auditions. I don't even know if a male even made it to the auditions.
Unfortunately for him, the judges decided he may need a little more work on his routine.
And before we go, one last check on the weather.
Here's WRUF-TV's Lindsay Hoover. Lindsay?
Thanks, Stephen. Let's take one last look at our 6-day forecast. Tomorrow will be a high of 87, but it'll feel warmer with that moisture in the air, making it more humid. And then on Wednesday, we have a chance of some possible thunderstorms, but not too much. And then drier on Thursday. And then we should get that stronger front on Friday or Saturday, which bring in thunderstorms and widespread rain throughout north central Florida, making it cooler for Sunday with a high of 77. Back to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Stay tuned this evening for BBC World News at 6 and the PBS NewsHour at 7.
WUFT News will return to Florida's 5 tomorrow evening at 5. In the meantime, the news is always on at WUFT.org.
Have a good night.